They're gentle. You can grow your own hair out from underneath them. They will not ruin your hair.
Oh, wow.
Which is why it takes so long to learn them, because there's so many different things that you have to know in placement and how to do the beadwork in order for it to not pull or ruin anybody's hair.
Welcome to the Montana Podcast.
Thank you.
I appreciate you driving literally all the way over here.
It was a beautiful drive.
Yeah, you definitely can't beat that drive. Did you go from Missoula, Butte to here?
Yeah.
Cool. So, Kitty, we were talking a little bit before we were recording, and you have a pretty unique story. So who are you and what do you do?
My name is Kitty Youngquist, and I am an extension artist at Fabric Salon and Mirror Extension Lounge. I own both of them. I've owned them for about a year and a half. I bought them from Lisa Gregory, who opened the salon in 2013, and I've worked for her for 9 years before I bought it.
How did you get into doing hair?
I always knew I was going to do hair. I got in trouble in grade school in algebra because I told the teachers that letters don't go with numbers, and I was going to do hair, so I didn't need to know any of these things. I got in trouble for that and went to detention, but I always knew I was going to do hair from the time I was little.
Were you like doing your peers' hair?
All the time.
Oh, really?
My dad, he tied flies, so he's the one that taught me how to braid. And how important it was to keep everything separate and how to make it look nice. So I started with braiding when I was probably about 5. And then when I was about 12, my little sister got hit with the scissors from me. So she had a few crazy haircuts because I would watch what they were doing to me when I'd get my hair cut, and then I'd come home and practice on my sister. Yeah.
How did those turn out?
She had one perm that I gave her where her hair looked like a triangle.
Really?
It was the 80s. Yeah, that was probably the worst of it, but at least the time frame it fit.
Perm that looked like a triangle?
Yeah, it was like a short bob. And then when I permed it, it went shorter. And so then it just looked like this triangle on her head. I learned a lot. I've learned a lot since then.
Have you brought back the triangle perm?
No, but I did do a mullet recently on a football player. That is related to me in the flathead. So him and his teammates wanted to have the 80s mullet, so I did perm a mullet.
Nice. Heck yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. So you are a Montana native.
Yes, I am.
All right. And then you recently just went to the New York...
Fashion Week.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
Lisa Gregory and I were invited to New York Fashion Week to be participants in that, and it was like, I've never been to New York. It was literally on my bucket list to be able to work at New York Fashion Week, and we happened to meet somebody who knew somebody, and we got to go. Lisa went back again to Paris this fall. I wasn't able to go to that one, but we might be doing Miami in the spring and possibly Paris in the summer again.
Oh, cool.
But it was great. You get to go backstage and see all the hustle and bustle. For each show, for each designer, you've got probably 30 to 40 models, and then backstage you've got makeup artists, nail techs, hairstylists, all working on this person to get them created into this new thing for the show. And everything has to be right. You have a look for the hair, you have a look for the makeup, and they're sticklers. They come around and check you. They want it exactly the way that they ask you to have it because it fits their theme for their clothing.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting and a lot of pressure.
I could imagine. Yeah, but that's super cool that you got invited out there, then potential opportunities for more, especially coming from Montana. I just think that's super cool.
Yeah, I've always done a lot though. One of my biggest passions is education. Growing up in Montana, getting licensed, I went to Careers Academy of Cosmetology in Kalispell.
Oh, okay.
And they are an amazing school. They're great. And they taught us a lot more than most schools do. But there isn't a lot of education in Montana because there's so little people that the vendors, it's not worth their money to send people to come educate us because they can hit the same population in a city in California.
Yeah.
Of the whole state of Montana.
Oh yeah.
So I've been really trying to work hard to bring more education to our local market. Lisa has a reset program that she has done where she basically goes back and teaches the absolute basics of haircuts, the fundamentals.
Oh.
You can kind of go back and reset yourself to like get yourself rebooted. So we're doing that, and then I have an assistance program put together for anybody who's interested in extensions, and we've got several students from Missoula Beauty School that come in and assist with that. Education is super important to me, and that's what we're trying to build at Fabric and Mirror too. So
that's awesome.
Part of our culture anyway.
Cool. I could be completely wrong on the name, but is Mirror a franchise? No. Okay, then I'm thinking of something completely different. So for the extension program, what does that look like? Like, how does somebody like navigate through that process?
Well, extensions is the extensions that I do are extremely intricate, and it takes sometimes up to 1.5 to 2 years to get where you are mastery of it, because it's a series of 100,000 little perfect movements that you have to make. The extensions that I do are a gentle beaded method, and then we use a flat weft. And I have my own hairline that I've sourced, that I've worked really hard. It's almost ready. It's coming down, I think, in the next 6 months. I finally figured out where I'm at.
Cool.
So that's coming. So basically what we do is we start out, somebody who might be interested in extensions, we start them out with a weft prep. So when you color hair, what you use to put in the hair to make the hair look longer and bigger.
Okay.
And they're in pieces, and you put them into rows, and everything's custom colored and custom done. So it takes a lot of time. And coloring those wefts is a different animal than coloring hair because they react a little bit differently. So if you come right out of beauty school and you come through our weft lab and you learn how to color wefts, when you go to color a person's hair, you're going to be already a master because you've already had to deal with difficult hair. Mm-hmm. So hair on somebody's head is going to be a breeze.
Okay.
So you can come and just start there, and then you can go out, and I have a couple, like a cutting class and how to do a blowout and just simple things that I know that you have to have these skills in order to work at Fabric or at Mirror.
Yeah.
So you go through that assistance program, and then you can go out on the floor and you can either work commission or do booth rental. So that's how it starts. And then if you really feel like you have a love and a passion for extensions, because like I said, it's super intricate, it's super detailed, you have to be a little bit type A, which I am. The manager of our salon and I are the only two that do extensions right now. But we've only been open for a year, so we've really paved the way for this new education and this new like academy to come through. Jenny and I are there, and we're doing it, and we've got a lot of really happy customers because our extensions are top of the line hair. They're gentle. You can grow your own hair out from underneath them. They will not ruin your hair. Oh, wow. Which is why it takes so long to learn them, because there's so many different things that you have to know in placement and how to do the beadwork in order for it to not pull or ruin anybody's hair.
Yeah. I don't know anything about extensions, but from what everyone that I know that gets them, they're like, this is why I hate them, because of X, Y, Z, and you just said that we solve for X, Y, Z, so that's super cool.
So I've been an extension specialist since 1996, and I started out doing great lengths, which is pre-bonded hair. That means that it's single strand method, and you put a whole bunch of them. You'd put in like little tiny beaded, or they're not beaded, but it's not a glue, it's a keratin bond, and that just bonds to the hair. But I was getting a lot of breakage from that method, and so I decided that I wanted to seek out something that I knew solved all the problems that my clients were having. Number one is your method is only as good as your hair. Your hair is 50% of what you do. If you do a great beadwork and it's not hurting the hair and it's gentle, but your hair that you put on the head is yucky and nasty and acts like doll hair, then you failed, right? So I've thought of everything from the foundation all the way to the hair that we buy I've created myself. And then when you come in, your beadwork goes on your head custom. Like everybody's head shape is different, so you customize these extensions for your client. Not only that, but we make sure that all of the wefts match your hair exactly. Even if the wind blows, you can't see that there's extensions on somebody's head.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty incredible. I've worked really hard and got put a lot into my education in order to bring this wonderful service to our guests that are, let's just say they want more of a luxury experience.
Yeah, that's super cool. So again, I don't know anything about extensions, but from what I've heard is not your process, but in general, it takes a long time. Your process, it sounds like it would take longer.
So yes, it does at first. If you were to come in, we also have levels of stylists. So my prices are a little bit different than my managers, and then prices on underneath people who are underneath my manager would be less. So that you can come in and pick your budget a little bit, but you have to know that some people are at a learning stage, where I'm at a mastery stage, right? The way I teach is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So you have to be good at what you do, and every movement has to be right before you can work on your speed. So if you come in and I'm doing your hair, we do a color process and we do 2 rows of extensions. You could be in my chair for as little as 3 hours or as little as 4. Whereas if you sit in the chair of somebody who's just starting to learn, you could be there for 10.
Okay.
My clients have always I've had clients that have been with me since I was starting to learn the method that I do now.
Yeah.
So I've had clients that have been in my chair for 10 hours and now they're in there for 3 and they're like, yeah.
That's super cool that you've had clients like that. Just says something about the person that you are, because somebody could go anywhere. Maybe not with what you've crafted now, but throughout the years they can go anywhere.
Right.
But I would rather go to someone that I know that I can trust.
I think that's really a big part of what we do, because we are one of the only industries where we touch people. So that makes people feel more comfortable with you. And that's, again, I talk about the culture that I try to cultivate in my salon. And that's what it is. It's a little bit of, we are very catering. When you come in and you're an extension client, we pay for your parking, we pay for your lunch. You come in, we have drinks for all of our guests. We have snacks for all of our guests. When you leave, you get a little affirmation card. Yeah, so we really try to, not only do we want you to feel comfortable while you're in your chair and getting your service done, we want you to feel comfortable from the second you walk through the door, like you've come home. So I worked really hard to cultivate that.
I love that. You're creating an experience.
Exactly.
I love that. I wish more businesses in Helena, or in Montana, did that. You're there for the experience.
Yes, and I think experience is really important. I mean, you can get your hair done and you can like it. And you can maybe not like it, but it's okay, and you pay for it and you're happy with what you got. Or you can have a total experience where you leave and you feel like shaking your hair when you walk out the door.
Yeah.
Like you're in a shampoo commercial.
I love it. I love it. When I go either to a barber or a stylist, if I know them, I'm having an intimate conversation with them.
Yep.
Like, they are basically my therapist.
Yes.
You get to have these intimate conversations. You're touching them. You're making them feel like, and then you're adding the extra stuff. Like, super cool. And you've been open for a year?
The Extension Lounge Mirror is celebrating its 1-year anniversary on the 10th of November. So we did our grand opening on the 10th of November.
Heck yeah.
Fabric has been there since 2013, so we got 11 years under our belt.
Okay.
And just to explain to people who are listening, when you walk into Fabric, and Mirror is our VIP Extension Lounge. It's behind a big barn door. But when you walk into Fabric, we've got all our stylists out, and it's a very open, really nice, inviting area. We have all sorts of, we can do all phases of hair on the Fabric side. So we have room for color, like a keratin blowout, which is a straightener, relaxer a little bit. We do haircuts for men. We have our Impeccable Gentleman package, which a lot of our guys like, because they like to come in, like some of our lawyers and stuff around town, they like to have their hair cut every 2 weeks. So they look good all the time.
Yeah.
And that comes with a shoulder, neck massage, and a hot towel on your face as you're getting your scalp massaged. We like to pamper where we're at. That's what we do.
That sounds amazing. I want to go do that.
You better
now.
come over and get yourself done in Missoula.
Yeah, I should, definitely, because that sounds amazing. So you're a Montana native?
Yeah, I was born in Missoula and raised in Whitefish.
Yeah.
I've lived all over. I have a unique story. My mom got pregnant with me when she was 15, and she was from Malta, Montana, which is way up by the High Line on Highway 2.
Okay, yeah.
And my grandfather was a cattle rancher up there. She came to Missoula and had me and gave me up for adoption. And then my parents who adopted me were from Whitefish, and they came to Missoula and picked me up, and so I was raised in Whitefish. And I love the Flathead, it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
But I always wanted to have a career in hairstyling that was different. So I've been trying to get to California since I was born. And I made it finally.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think we moved there in 99, my ex-husband and I. And I was there for 14 years. And no, not 14, 9. And then we moved to Salt Lake City. And then we got a divorce and I moved back home. So I came back in 2010. But I did a lot of my education. I grabbed as much education as I could while I was in California because it was everywhere. Like it's not anywhere here. So I have done my research on my career, on my passions. And every question that I've had, I've tried to get answered.
I love that.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like you are well versed.
I do know a thing or two about hair, but don't ask me anything else about math or anything like that.
Hey, and that's okay. You can ask Siri for math.
Exactly. The same high school teacher that gave me detention, or algebra teacher that gave me detention, he also told me that I was not going to have a calculator in my pocket all the time. And I would like to talk to Dave the Wave now because I have a pocket calculator right on my phone.
Yeah.
So I think he was wrong.
My math teacher told me the same thing. And then I think when I was in high school, the red flip phone just came out from AT&T or something, and I think it had a calculator. That was a while ago, but it's funny. You want to have a calculator? Well, so what is like a hidden gem, like a favorite spot that you like to go to, either to bite to eat, a getaway with your husband, or...
Okay. Are you from Montana?
I am.
Okay, so you're not asking me like a fishing spot, are you?
No, I know better.
Okay.
I know better.
Okay,
I'm not,
all right.
Yeah.
I can tell you anything else, but no fishing spots or hunting spots.
Oh yeah, no, those are, yeah, no.
In Missoula or all over Montana?
Anywhere, anywhere.
For me, I really love Lolo's Steakhouse. It's really not super hidden, but it's a gem, and it's outside of Lolo, and I love steak, so they cook all their steaks on an open flame in the dining room, and it's pretty amazing.
Really?
Yes. Wild Horse Hot Springs is pretty great. It's not fancy hot springs. It's like it's Montana hot springs.
Yeah, for sure.
That's in between Kalispell and Missoula on 93, like by Hot Springs, but on the other side. That's a pretty good one. Weir Hot Springs. Have you ever been into Weir?
No.
That's pretty great too.
Where is that?
If you go up past Lolo Hot Springs into Idaho, it's just a little bit into Idaho. It's Jerry Johnson is on the other side of the road.
Okay, I know
a little further. Weir is
Yeah.
a little bit closer and on the right side.
Okay, I know where Jerry Johnson is.
Yeah.
But okay.
Weir
cool.
is great, and it's the hot tubs in there that are built. They were built way back when. They're pretty amazing.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I am because I live in Missoula, but I've never been to a Grizz game. So
That's fair.
I dated a guy that was a Grizz player once. That's as close as it gets. I just know that the Bobcats suck. So that's all I know.
And we're in Bozeman right now.
I know,
so
but I don't care. I'm going to stand my ground.
Yeah, I love it. So besides on your hidden gems, what do you like to do in your free time?
It has been a couple years, but I used to be part of the Cigarette Girls burlesque troupe.
What is that?
Oh, you've never heard of them?
No.
Oh, they're great. So it's a bunch of wonderful ladies and gents that do burlesque, and we were a big troupe, but after COVID, we have split off, and now people are just producing their own shows.
Okay.
And they're all amazing. They're all over Bitterroot, all the way into Missoula. We've got people that are doing them at the Rustic Hut. Look them up, friend everybody on Instagram that was on the Cigarette Girls page, and you'll find some really cool things to do at night.
I will check it out.
I used to do a sing strip, but I haven't performed for a couple of years. I've been busy with the salon. But I'll probably come out of retirement at some point.
Okay.
All the way down to panties and pasties. It's not a full nude thing. Everything is panties, pasties, and some of it's dancing, some of it's funny, some of it's comedy, some of it's serious. It's really a good, fun show, and everybody who's part of it is just amazing.
No, okay, I'm gonna have to check this. I've never heard of this. Yeah. So where do you hope to see your salon going on?
So it's my goal to provide a place to work for women where they can get their worth and also have a good work-life balance. So I want to see a bunch of successful hairstylists, hair artists that are not working their butt off and booked 6 days a week, 12-hour days, just to say that they're successful, because that's what beauty school teaches us. We don't get to learn actual business in beauty school. We learn that if your books are full, you're successful. We don't learn how to raise our prices. We don't even know how to price ourselves. So it is my goal to teach as many of the youngsters coming up my wisdom, my 33 years of wisdom that I can. I want the salon to be full and successful, and I want the clients over the moon for their hair. And those are my biggest goals. I really want to teach, and I want to provide an amazing work environment for ladies who want to work hard and who know their self-worth.
I love that. And you're right, like when you go to school, you're not learning how to be a business owner. If you're booked solid and you're busy, then you're busy, which busy doesn't mean that you're successful.
You can be booked 6 days a week and 12-hour days, and if you're not charging enough money, you're going to get home and you're going to pay your bills, and you're not going to have any money, and you're going to feel exhausted.
Exactly.
It's just a never-ending circle. I used to say it's like being like a lawyer. You can go to school, to law school, and then you take the bar, and then what are you going to do? Are you going to be a trial lawyer? Are you going to be a injury lawyer? What kind of lawyer do you want to be? Family lawyer, divorce lawyer? It's like that with hair. When you get your license, now you're licensed to do hair. You can do hair, you're licensed to do it. How good are you going to be at it? How far do you want to push yourself to learn? Like, how much knowledge do you want? And then you're so busy once you graduate from beauty school getting your books full that you forget to put your head up and take a look around. And are you happy doing this? But also maybe make more money. So all of those things I want to cover. I'm tired of seeing I feel like it's almost like you're a slave to your work when you're especially when you're a booth runner and you're self-employed and it's your own business and you're running a salon, your own business within a salon. It's just hard, and it's hard to say no. We're people pleasers. And I daily fight. There's two people inside of me. Because I like nice things, and I like to be able to go do things, and I want to be able to go do things and hang out with my husband, and I also want to work hard. But in my heart of hearts, I'm an artist. I'm a hair artist. That's my favorite thing in the world. I could talk for hours about it. But there's also a side of me that I want to know what my business is. Do I like learning it? Is it as much fun? No. Does my accountant hate me? Yes. Do I forget to file my receipts sometimes? Yes. But my artist and my accountant side of me are constantly fighting because I just want to go do hair because that's what I love. I don't want to think about the money. I just want the money to be there. But you have to stop and take the time to not be an artist for a second and be smart and look at your bank account. And even if some hairstylists do that because we're so artisty thinking, even if we look at it, we don't know what to do to change it. I have ideas.
I love that. It's definitely needed. And especially you go for school and outside of school and you learn and you go to perfect your craft. Like you deserve to be paid well. Like the service that you provide to the world, like somebody is willing to pay top dollar for it.
Yes.
And you deserve it because everyone deserves it.
Not everybody deserves it. I've literally had this has happened to me where I've had people come in and say they're an extension artist, and then they just want to come in and start working for me. I need to see your color work. I need to see what do you do, because we only do my kind of beaded rose. If you have a different kind, I need to see it. I need to see, I need to critique your work. They don't like that. They're like, I took this 3-day certification online. I should be able to charge all this money for extensions. And they're not joking.
I believe it.
They think that with that 3-day certification and not even having a model that they've done them on, that they can just go out with that certification. It doesn't work like that at my salon. And not only for my clients and my guests, but for my own peace of mind. That's why if you want to work for me, this is the path you have to take. Because this is not easy. What I do isn't easy. I've put a lot of work and a lot of education into myself. In the last 3 years, I've spent over $30,000 on education for myself and for my manager. So I'm not asking you to do something that I haven't already done. And nobody is working as hard as I am is going to complain. People that don't want to work that hard will complain.
I 110% agree with that.
Those are the folks that I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who are really passionate about what they want to do and they want to be taken seriously. And in order to be taken seriously, you have to have that backup. You have to have, okay, this is why I charge this much money, because I've done this and this. My clients see me go to education for at least once a quarter. They know that I'm going to be able to give them a better result, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't just be like, oh, I took this online certification and now, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, do you want results or do you want it
Right.
cheap?
Exactly.
Like, I'd rather have results. And if I'm dropping whatever amount of money on my hair that everyone's gonna see every day, then I know what this like price and industry completely different. But if I am in a rush and I go to a place like Supercuts, I'm already regretting it by the time I go in, but I was like, I need a haircut and I'm out of town. And then I go to Supercuts and I'm like, that's what you get for paying. Like, I would rather go to my barber, which like $100 a haircut or whatever.
Yes.
If I want cheap results, then I go somewhere like
Right.
Supercuts.
And I'm not here to bash any other business, because I'll tell you what, I love hair and I think there's room for every single kind of business. There's
Yeah.
room for Supercuts because there are people that don't care that much about their hair.
100%.
And that's okay. Also, Supercuts is great for coming out of school and getting your chops in cutting hair, because in order to really master anything, you need 10,000 hours. That's how much time you have to put into something to be a master of something.
Yeah, for sure.
Going out of school right into Supercuts is a great plan, because you get to put those reps in. But there's a clientele for every single different kind of place. So I believe that your vibe attracts your tribe. And the ones that are gonna stay and the ones that don't feel the vibe are gonna vibe out, and that's okay. I don't have to control that. I don't have to control my guests who come to me because we have a relationship and that's where they want to be. There are other hair extension methods. Mine isn't the only one. You don't have to do mine. With mine, you get a lot more benefits. You can grow your own hair out. It's super gentle. You can wear your hair on the top of your head. You don't have to wear it down all the time. It's not going to rip your hair out. Those are all great things.
Yeah.
But you can also choose to have other methods that aren't as good and you can pay less. And there's nothing wrong with that too.
No, you have your
know?
ideal client, and your ideal client wants you.
Yes,
So I would rather work with people who feed my energy than the ones who bleed my energy.
that's how I feel too.
Yeah, so I love it. I love all the cool things that you're doing. Honestly, I would have never known. I like, especially having a strong woman who is wanting to teach other women to be other strong women business owners. I think it's super fantastic. Like, I love that, and the culture that you're creating and the experience. Like, Montana, one, that's needed, and two, I feel like it's really needed in Montana.
Because as much as us local Montanans hate as the movement that's moved into our state, we really can't blame people because what we have here is amazing. We want to keep it to ourselves, but I think that Missoula has had 35,000 people move since COVID. And those people are from states where they're used to having higher end things, and that need needs to be met, whether we like it or not. When I was growing up, we stopped on the road to help people if they were pulled off. That's just something that Montana has this like independent but helpful persona. And that's, I know that it's hard to watch things change, but I also want our guests that are newly here to feel welcome, and I want them to have a place to go where they feel comfortable, and that's important to me. Even though they're new Montanans, they're still Montanans.
Yeah.
I want to provide, because I come from California, I understand, I worked in a salon there, it was the number 3 salon in Sacramento, which is a huge city. I want to provide that kind of feeling for everybody that's moving in from bigger cities. I have people that come from Helena, I have people that come from Bozeman, the Flathead, I think my farthest away one. I had a girl come from Glasgow one time. I have people come from Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, because what I do is so dialed in and so specific.
That is really cool. I recently just moved back to Montana, like 3-4 months ago. I went out to Indianapolis for an internship and ended up staying out there, but I had a Montana license plate on my car. The first time I was walking out of a grocery store and someone was yelling across the parking lot, "Hey, are you the one from Montana?"
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, great, because Montana, I've seen windows get bashed out for having a California license plate. So I was just like, oh, here we go. And they're like, "You're a long way from home. Welcome." And I was like, what?
My husband and I had the weirdest experience in New York City.
Oh,
So,
really?
of course, I'm like fifth, sixth generation Montanan. And my husband bought me this really cool raccoon fur coat for Christmas last year. And my husband is a big guy. He's about 5'10", about 250 pounds, and he's a big guy. And he has a big, huge beard.
Okay.
And we were walking in, 3 times we got stopped in New York. People just wanted to talk. "Where are you guys from?" I'm like, I didn't even really think that we look that different, but we do. We look like Montana people. I've got my raccoon fur coat on,
Oh,
and my
that's
husband's
awesome.
got his big old beard, but it was really neat because I was expecting New York to be rude.
Yeah.
And never, not one time. We stayed
Really?
there for a whole week, and everybody was so amazing. I loved them.
Oh, wow.
I just thought New York was great. So
Yeah.
it was expensive, but it was
Yeah,
great. But
for
they
sure.
were really like, "Where are you from?"
That's, wow, okay. I just, what the TV tells me, it seems like every New Yorker's rude.
And they weren't. It was just really amazing.
Yeah,
I think that they really appreciate authenticity.
okay.
I've got one client of mine that's from New Jersey, and I was talking to her about it when she grew up there in New Jersey and New York, both. And I was talking to her about it when I got back from New York, and she says, "That's what it is. New Yorkers appreciate authenticity, and you and Eric are authentic."
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
It was fun.
That's cool. So, what is your website?
So I have 2.
Okay.
FabricSalon.com is going to get you to the fabric side, and each individual stylist has their own little bio and what
Okay.
their specialties are, so you can go and peruse and browse before you even call and try to get an appointment. We have our front desk concierge. She's not a receptionist. She does a lot more than that. She does a lot of our marketing and our email campaigns, and she is on it. But McKenna is there from 10 to 5 to answer questions on the phone as well. And then if you're interested in extensions, we have mirrorextensionslounge.com. And then there's a lot of things in there. I explain what we do and how we do it. And then there's a little application button that you can just fill out. And it tells me about you. It gives me all the information that I need so that when I call you, I can give you an estimate that's proper, because otherwise I just get a lot of calls.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 websites. And then I have my Instagram, which is mirror.extension.lounge.
Okay.
And my manager's is at Heroin Chic, HAIRONE Chic.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was awesome. I learned so much. I love what you're doing. What can I do for you?
Just put the word out. People just need to know. So let me know when it's going to air, and I'll tell people about it and promote it myself on my website and stuff, and with my email lists. And
There you go.
I'm just trying to let people know what I'm here and what I'm doing, because it's a lot different than any other salon that is in Montana. For
Yeah,
sure.
it sounds like it. That's awesome. So
I
cool.
appreciate you having me.